guys, my name is ThePrenti and welcome back to another video. Now today I'm going to give you guys tips on how to write a cocktail menu. Quite a lot of people have been asking recently, Alex, how to write a cocktail menu, what's some advice for writing a cocktail menu, or I'm trying to write one, do you have any ideas of things I should put on it? Now, I'm not going to tell you what to put on it because that is totally dependent on a few factors which we're going to talk about in a second. That being said, let's get on with the advice. So the first thing you want to think about is whether it's going to be a permanent or a seasonal cocktail menu. When I say that, is it going to be a cocktail menu that's running right the whole year round, and then maybe you'll put special boards out on like summer and winter and serving things like Pimm's and then like mulled wine, mulled cider, that sort of thing? Or is it going to be like a seasonal cocktail menu, your place rotates it every 3 months? I say every 3 months, like you have one in summer from like May to end of August, you have like an interim one that goes from those periods from the end of August, to like say the beginning of November, winter one from like beginning of November to the end of February, and like another interim one between the end of February and the beginning of May. When I say the interim ones, they're usually the same. When places do like seasonal ones, they usually have the interim ones the same. So what kind of menu are you writing for? Is it that kind of menu where it's going to be the whole year round, in which case you have to think about what products are most likely to sell all year round, or is it going to be a seasonal one where you can specifically focus on that season? Once you've decided obviously what kind of menu you're writing, you're going to decide what you're going to put on it. Now the way you do that is you've got to think about what's popular as well as what's current and happening now. Now, if it's a seasonal one, it's really easy to think of what's current and popular now. For example, we're in winter, you're going to sell a lot of mulled wine, you're going to sell a lot of mulled cider, warm drinks, hot toddies, that sort of thing. Those are the things you're going to sell a lot of in this season. It's cold, people want to drink alcohol to warm up, they want warm alcohol to warm up even more, so those things sell very well. Whereas if you're in summer, it's Pimm's, sex on the beaches, daiquiris, mojitos, that sort of thing. So you've got to think of what's going to sell in each season. Permanent ones as well, you've got to think of what has longevity. If you ask somebody to name like, I don't know, like 5 cocktails, they'd probably give you some sort of martini, some sort of mojito, a daiquiri, a sex on the beach, a Long Island, a Bellini, mimosa, those sort of things. So you've got to think of things that were well known and people know about, and they're going to have like longevity, so they're going to have like a whole season round and people are going to know them, so they're going to order them. But also on that opposite side of that spectrum, you've got to think of what do people not know. You want to have like a really nice cocktail that maybe sounds amazing, looks really good and tastes amazing, but has a really standout name or has standout ingredients that people are going to look at the menu, read it and order that and oh my god, that's amazing. Because the point of the cocktail menu is not to, you know, give people like the standard things. You want to give variety as well. You want to make, or the best cocktail menus are the ones in which people order everything from and not just set things. So say for example there's 10 things on your cocktail menu. A lot of places people only order 3 or the most common things are 3 out of the 10. A good cocktail menu is when people order all 10 on that list. When you think you have a good cocktail to add onto your menu, you need to think of a few things. Is it time effective for me to make it? Is it time effective for preparing it? And is it cost effective as well? So those things are really important, mainly for obviously cost effective. The whole point in doing it is to make a profit, make as much money as you can. That is the aim of a business at the end of the day. Anybody that says they're not in it or not making a menu for a business for money, to make money, is lying and is bad at their job. At the end of the day, their business, the whole point of a business is to generate income, to make as much money as you can, so you can pay your staff, pay your bills, and even pay yourself essentially if it is your own place. So how cost effective is this drink? Which kind of like ties all 3 of those things that I mentioned, like cost effective, time for making, time preparing, kind of mix into one thing, or they all interact with each other. So cost effective, not only is it cost effective to buy the ingredients and sell at your selling price, because you obviously got to think of what area you're in and how much you're going to sell a drink for. So for example, I live in Dundee. If I was to walk into a bar in here, a glass of Prosecco would probably cost me about $3.90 or $3.50, something along those lines. A pint would cost me about £3 as well. St Andrews, where I work, glass of Prosecco you're talking about £7, and for a pint you're probably talking about £5. So you got to think what area you're in, which helps fit into your cost effectiveness. Because if you're ordering from the same suppliers as other people, someone's recommends, oh, this supplier does like a really good vodka or a really good gin or whatnot, but then you're buying it in and you're not selling it for more than the bottle is, it's not cost effective at all. If you're not making enough markup on it, it's not cost effective. Also, kind of ties into the time for making and time preparing. So I'll give the example of mojito because it's a really topical, debated thing. A lot of people like to put mojitos on the menu. I'm one of the people who doesn't like to put it on the menu. I will make it if I have the stuff for it and I'll put it on a special, like now and again, but mojitos are really difficult because if someone's going to come to your place for mojito, you want it to be a really good mojito. And in order to do that, fresh mint, fresh lime juice, fresh sugar syrup, Basically all fresh ingredients. It's going to be the best quality it can, and making sugar syrup takes time, squeezing limes takes time, but obviously you can pre-prepare this, but you don't want to pre-prepare it too much in advance because it starts to spoil, and then it obviously brings down the quality of the mojito. So the best thing to do is squeeze the lime juice fresh, make sugar syrup in the morning, make sure you have fresh mint in that day, and you can make like a really good mojito. Although it's going to take you a wee bit while longer, say like 4 minutes for example, to make that mojito and serve it. Say you sell it for £5, great. In 4 minutes you've made £5. Whereas if someone then orders a Bellini or a mimosa, you can make that in about 30 seconds. Orange juice, Prosecco, orange juice, or Bellini, whether you use puree or make fresh stuff, and then Prosecco, done, 30 seconds. And say you sell it for £5 again. You could have made 8 mimosas in the same time you would one mojito. Say you sell it for the same price, you've made 8 times as much as you would have. You've made 40 quid as opposed to making 5 quid. So you made an extra 35 quid. So you've got to think what's time effective and cost effective. If you were to buy the pre-made mojito stuff though, you could probably chuck it together again in about 30 seconds. However, it's not going to taste as nice. So you got to balance it and think what's going to be effective for making time for my staff as well. Are my staff going to enjoy making these things? Because at the end of the day, they're the ones that have to serve them. If they don't have a good interaction with the customers when they're making it, why is the customer going to come back? Because the whole point in a good cocktail menu is one, to give the customer enjoyment, go away and rave about it. I had this amazing daiquiri from so-and-so's, it was fantastic, you've got to go try it, or they bring their friends back for that daiquiri. So that's kind of my advice on a cocktail menu. Hopefully you guys take some of this on board. Anyway guys, hope you have enjoyed today's video. If you have, feel free to drop a like rating, it'd be much and really appreciated. If you found this helpful, please make sure you let me know in the comment section down below. If you guys are new around as well, please make sure you click on my face right now to subscribe. If you missed yesterday's update video, you can click the box just here, and if you want to catch 2 other videos, you can click the bottom boxes down here. If you want to check any of my social media, links to them will be in the description. Other than that guys, until next time, I've been ThePrenti, and I'll see you in the next one.